Well, hello, my name is Christopher Scott and I am a small groups pastor of a local church. And in this video, I'm going to continue my facilitator tips series, giving you tips on how you can facilitate and lead a small group. And today, I want to talk to you about how to prepare and to read questions, right? So you're going to be facilitating a small group, doing a Bible study, maybe a verse-by-verse study through a book of the Bible, or maybe you're doing a topical study using a DVD or something like that. And I want to give you a second tip to be a good facilitator is you want to read the questions aloud before coming to your small group, right? So read the questions aloud before coming to your small group. In previous videos, I've talked about how you want to prepare to facilitate a discussion. You can find that video up there, how to prepare to facilitate a discussion. I've also talked about how to ask great questions in your small group. You can find that video up there too. How do you ask great questions in your small group? But in addition to how you prepare for your small group, how you ask great questions, one thing you want to do to facilitate a discussion and be a good facilitator of a small group is you want to practice reading the questions aloud before the group meets, right? So why would you want to do that, right? So let's say, you prepared and you read the lesson and you went through it, that's great. But why would you want to read them before you get together? And the reason you want to read the questions aloud before the group meets is because oftentimes it's easier to read and understand something silently than it is to actually vocalize it publicly in front of other people, right? I know I've come across this numerous times where I've prepared for a small group, I've read it, I've done the questions, and then I get to read the question out loud in the group and I mispronounce the words and say them wrong or say them differently, or I know that's not how it's supposed to sound, but because I haven't practiced saying it, I get it wrong, right? And you never want to do that in a group. You want to say it smoothly and clearly so people can participate, right? So for example, this week I was going to be visiting one of our small groups that's doing a study on Galatians. They're in lesson 2, Born Free. And here on question 5, it says, how is the draw of Christianity different than that of the cults and non-orthodox religious movements, right? How is it similar? What is the difference between making a true commitment of faith and falling for a belief system that is not part of the gospel Paul preaches, right? So you want to read those questions aloud. Non-orthodox, that's kind of a tough term. Another group of one of our groups is going to be doing a study of Daniel, and there's some tough names in Daniel, right? So it's you got Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar, then you've got Belshazzar, Belteshazzar, right? So you got some difficult names in there, and that's something you want to practice saying the questions aloud for your group, because you don't want them to get hung up on trying to figure out what you're trying to say. You want them to know, okay, he said this was his question, this is what I'm going to think, right? So to be a good facilitator, to facilitate a good discussion, you want to make sure you practice reading the questions aloud in your small group. And as I give trainings to small group facilitators, usually there's 3 things I always tell the facilitator that you want to do on your own when you're first starting out, right? You never ever want to ask people to read scripture unless you know they're a good reader and they like to read. So never ask them to read scripture. Never ask them to read the commentary sections inside of a Bible study guide, right? So sometimes there's some commentary. Never ask them to read that, and never ask them to read the questions, okay? Because you as facilitator, when you're starting out, you need to be the one that leads the way and models how to do it. And then maybe over time, you might let some other people in the group read the questions and ask them or things like that. But that's something that you as a facilitator need to take responsibility to do, is to practice reading those questions aloud so that you can say those questions clearly and people can know what you're asking and participate in a discussion. So hope this video was helpful for you as you learn to facilitate a small group. So if you want to subscribe to my channel, you can subscribe up there and get some future videos. If you want to find other facilitator tips, I got a bunch of videos up there. If you want to learn how to use the Warren Wiersbe Bible Study Guides for a small group, you can find those over there, some how-to videos. If you want to get some 5-minute introductions to books of the Bible, I got those videos over there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you again in another video.